and welcome to the Tri-State Hoops Throwdown here at the Carl York Center, home of the Fairland Lady Dragons. This is our final game tonight. Features Cabell Midland High School from Huntington, West Virginia against our Lady Fairland Dragons here at home. The Dragons 8-3, Midland comes in 4-3. And we'll finish out our night here at the Throwdown. This shootout's brought to you by Ohio University Proctorville Center. If you have any questions, like to think about going back to school, check out Ohio University Proctorville. And Ricky Shifko, State Farm Insurance. We'd like to appreciate and extend our thanks to our sponsors. And we're getting ready to tip off. My name is Patrick Frazier. I'm here with Wes Wilson tonight. Coach, are we expecting an exciting game tonight?
I'm expecting a real good, exciting game tonight. Our Lady Fairland Dragons are quick. They got some good speed, some good shooters. I don't know much about Cabell Midland, but I heard they got a couple of good shooters as well. I'm looking forward to an exciting night and see how we play.
All right, we're getting ready to announce starting lineups for both schools. We'll step away for starting lineups here in just a second. Again, this is the Tri-State Hoops Throwdown, home of the Fairland Lady Dragons, brought to you by Ohio University Proctorville and Ricky Shifko Insurance.
And we have a starting lineup. First over the Lady Knights of Cabell Midland High School. At center, number 32, Hannah Atkins. At forward, number 33, Kate Craddock. At forward, number 11, Morgan Manning. At guard, number 10, Haley Haggerty. At guard, number 15, Summer Stevenson. Lady Knights of Cabell Midland, Kirby Haggerty, and head coach Matt Atkins. And now the starting lineup for the home team, your Fairland High School Lady Dragons. And second, award number 13, Mackenzie Riley. And fourth, award number 33, Jenna Phillips. And forward, number 22, Kelsey Riley. And word number 23, Kate Stone. And number 4, Taylor Benson. Everybody's coaching staff, including the city coaches, Piper Lewis, and all coach John Buchanan. Officials, Marcus Thompson, William Jordan, and Kyle Gilmore.
All right, we're getting ready to tip off our final game here tonight. Dragons in white, Midland in gray. We'll see who controls this opening tip. Opening tip is controlled by Dragons. Brought down the floor by Staten. Midland's in a zone coming out, 23 with the shot. Rebounded by Midland's 13.
Fairland usually starts out in a zone most of their games. They don't usually go man-to-man unless they really have to. As you can see, they're in a zone right now. Caitlin's usually up top.
Fairland's extending that zone out past the three-point line. Shot by the Midland long.
Ball was hit. Ball's out of bounds by Cabell Midland. Goes to Fairland. Taylor Staten's bringing the ball up the court.
Fairland will show good patience on offense. They're going to look for the right shot, look for the lane, look for a mismatch. Riley on the shot, just short. Ball's on the floor. Fairland, everybody's on it. We got a foul on the play. Foul's on 13 from Cabell Midland, Summer Stevenson. Fairland swinging the ball around the top of the key. Again, looking for that open shot, open girl. Good matchup underneath.
They don't get in a hurry unless they have to, as you can see. Some crazy passes, but turns the ball over for Fairland.
We got a foul on the play by the Dragons. Number 22, Kelsey Riley on the foul.
Number 22.
Cabell Midland will get the ball underneath.
Her first. Team first.
Midland's running the box play out of bounds, getting position underneath. Misses the layup, rebounded by McKenzie. Stolen back by Midland. And fouled on the play by number 33, Jenna Folks. It's a good hustle play. Little tic-tac foul there. Midland will retain possession.
Yeah, I'm not really for sure about that reach-in foul. They have a tendency to call it too soon.
Tipped out by Mackenzie Riley on the steal. Fairland's got numbers.
Caitlin Stone with a layup. Scored by Caitlin Stone. Looks like Fairland's coming out with a full court press. Another steal.
Mackenzie Riley fouled on the play off the turnover. She's going to go to the line for 2. Coach, it looks like that press is pretty effective right off the bat here for the Dragons.
That's probably one of their strong suits. They can get back quick. They can get down, up and down the floor pretty quick, and the press really helps them out at the beginning of the games. First one is made by Mackenzie Riley. She's a real good foul shot shooter.
Yeah, I had the privilege of coaching these senior girls when I was in middle school, when they were in 8th grade, and it's nice to see how they've progressed over the last 4 years. Become leaders on this varsity team. McKenzie makes them both. Fairland back into the press.
Good trap. Seems the Cabell Midland easily broke that press this time.
Yeah. Fairland didn't cut that sideline off, left it open for Midland to get the ball across.
That's one thing I see a lot in high school basketball. They don't ever cut that sideline off.
Elbow jumper for Midland's good by number 33, Faith Craddock. Midland will continue to stay in their 2-3 zone.
Fairland does move the ball around real well, as you can see. Wait for the open shot.
Using that long pass to try to beat the zone, make that zone work side to side. In the elbow to McKenzie outside to Stone for 3.
Three-pointer up. Stone scores another three-pointer. When she gets hot, you better look out because she doesn't stop.
Fairland's gave up the middle and the sideline there again on that press. I don't know if we're cheating the mid-girl up on defense or if we're just not getting to the position.
I don't think they're rotating properly. That's what I see.
Timeout, Cabell Midland, that little trap at the half-court line. Coach Atkins taking a timeout.
I will say this, Coach, it's 7-2. Good start for Fairland Dragons. If they keep up this pace, they're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, the last 2 times Midland's broke the press, they've come down with numbers and just not been able to execute. I'm sure Coach Atkins is talking about that on the sidelines. Coach Buchanan's got to be pretty happy right now. He's swinging the ball across that zone, playing a 2-3, getting a good open shot, getting good open looks underneath, and hustling for the ball. 7-2 score right here, partway through the first. Happy with both teams' execution. I think both coaches have a few things they're wanting to tweak right now. And Coach Atkins, for sure, needs to take advantage of breaking that press and convert that into some points.
I will say this, Coach. Cabell Midland's missed a couple of easy shots, which is why the score is 7-2 right now. Now, don't get me wrong, Fairland's missed a couple as well, but it would probably be a lot closer if they can hit some of them open shots that they've missed.
Midland's going to bring the ball in just inside the half court on the sideline. Fairland's matched up out of their zone just on this inbounds. They'll draw it back to their zone after it comes in. As you can see right here. Coach Buchanan will go man on a sideline like that. Good turnover. Folks jumps in front for the turnover. 3-on-2 for the Dragons. Folks goes to the rim. Off the back of the iron, Midland with the rebound.
Another easy layup missed. You've got to make him layups if you want to compete with a school like Cabell Midland.
Yeah, she got caught kind of at the rim. Didn't really have an angle for a bank shot. Tried to flip it in. That's a tough shot at any age.
That is true.
Another tip by Mackenzie Riley out of bounds. Fairland's 4s and 5s really anticipating that skip pass. That's hard to do against Mackenzie's and Jenna's length.
They're quick. They got long arms.
And force a turnover. Stone to the rim and makes the basket. That's the kind of execution both teams are going to need to keep the game, you know, where they want it to be. Whoever executes the most off those kind of turnovers off the press, that's who's going to win. Back tip there by Mackenzie Riley. Ball ends up in Fairland's hands. Stolen from Jenna. Falks out again. Jenna didn't see her behind her, I'm sure. Nice again, back tip from Midland.
Coach,
10 on the drive, gets fouled going up.
I will say this, it looks like they're letting them play a little bit. It looks like there was a carry at the beginning of the half court right there, and they didn't call that, and then it got turned over back and forth. They're scrapping for the ball, and it looks like they're playing a little bit.
Well, first time I really seen Midland go at it in a half-court set, try to take the ball to the rim, and they get fouled. Might be something Coach Atkins wants to take advantage of, especially if he's got good foul shooters.
Jenna comes out of the game.
We'll see Maddie Kazee come in the game for Jenna Falks for the first time. Haley Haggerty makes both her free throws. Again, it could be a key aspect of the game for Cabell Midland. Again, Midland staying in that matchup 2-3 zone.
Fairland once again being patient. Caitlin's directing them.
Three-pointer by Fairland's Kelsey Riley off a skip pass. You know, those kinds of passes against the zone are effective. If we can make shots, it might pull Cabell Midland out of that zone.
Now, Kelsey Riley, she's not known for her three-point shooting, but she can shoot that three. She's a real good shooter. She doesn't do it enough. Right there, as you can see, when she's left open, she will make that shot in.
Kaylin Stone, a foul in the backcourt. Give Midland the ball on the side. Number 20 is checking in for Cabell Midland, Allie Bennett. In for Faith Craddock.
As you can see, Fairland is real aggressive. They will get some fouls called against them for their aggressiveness.
Yeah, as a coach, you don't mind aggressive fouls as long as they're not silly fouls. Smart aggressive fouls are okay. It's just when we get lazy fouls is what coaches don't like. Again, you see Fairland's trap zone 1-2-2 up top, really causing Midland some trouble. Having trouble getting the ball even inside the three-point line. And there's another tip pass by Mackenzie Riley.
Looks like there's a block on the play. Foul should be on number. On foul number. Foul's on number 20 for Cabell Midland. Shooting two is Mackenzie Riley. The thing about that foul that people don't understand is it looked like a hard foul. But as you can see, the defender was moving as Mackenzie was going up for the shot. You got to plant that both feet down and take the charge. You can't be moving.
Yeah, a lot of casual fans don't like all the hard contact, but that was the right call by the official. And Mackenzie makes both at 1 and 2 at the line. Number 34 in for the Dragons, Alicia Simpson. Fairland still in their matchup press. Midland gets the ball to the side. Fairland cuts it off that time, causes a turnover, Coach. That's what we needed to see the first time. Hopefully that's an adjustment Coach Buchanan had them make, cutting off that side. First time they've done it, and it caused a turnover.
That is true. It looks like that's what he talked to at them at the last time out they had.
Midland's extending their defensive pressure now. Number 10's coming out playing a little further out on the key, and they get the turnover. Shots tipped. It's going to remain Cabell Midland ball. Cabell Midland didn't have numbers there, but it still wasn't a bad shot. Went a little stronger to the basket there.
That was a good block by Caitlin Stone. Most people think that when you come down like that, you get a foul, but it was all ball.
Three-point attempt by number 5, Long. Foul on the offensive board. It's going to stay here with Midland. Fouls on Taylor Staten. It's going to give Midland the ball underneath the basket. Midland back to their box inbound play. They've stayed in that set every time so far. To the outlet, number 13. Again, Fairland calls us a turnover on an entry pass. It's just great defense by the Dragons.
They've got quick hands. Another long skip pass. Another long skip pass. Kelsey with the drive. Scores again for Kelsey Riley.
You talked about those skip passes. You know, not every team has the strength, you know, across the board to make those kind of passes. Fairland's got 4 or 5 kids who can make those passes with ease. Makes playing them again with a 2-3 defense real difficult.
And two, once they make that skip pass, they react quick with the ball. They know to drive it or pass it back out.
Yeah, Coach Buchanan's done a nice job getting them to react the right way. Midland's going to inbound the ball here with the baseline. Fairland matches up on the press. And then they're going to trap. Nobody sent her home. 2-on-1 for the Knights. Late pass. Ends up in a jump ball. She's got to take that shot. I mean, whether she gets fouled or whether it gets blocked, it's just got to be a shot she's got to be confident enough to go to the rack with. As a late pass, her teammate wasn't quite ready.
Especially when you have a 1-on-2 fast break.
Entry pass in, number 20. Three-pointer attempt. Long. Taylor Atkins' three-point attempt's a little long. It's going to go back to the Dragons. Again, you see Cabell Midland extending their defense. Haggerty coming out to play some D. It's going to stay here.
That was a little bit more of an ill-advised pass. Girl was coming across.
Referees got together there and made the change. It's going to go back to Cabell Midland on the possession there. See, Fairland's vacated the center on that press. It's allowing Cabell Midland with 2 passes to get it across.
Looks like we have an over-back violation for number 13 for Cabell Midland. That would be Summer Stevenson.
Les, you think that's just a product of that pressure, that 1-2-2 out front, and just swarming defense of the Dragons?
Oh, absolutely. That and the quick hands of Caitlin Stone staying right with her.
Another skip pass to Kelsey Riley for the shot, and she hits the 12-footer from the corner.
Kelsey Riley's got a really nice shot.
Again, though, Midland's having no trouble really getting through that press, and there's a good pass and enter in.
Yeah, Fairland's going to have to do better on stopping that coming across the middle.
Yeah,
that's like the 3rd or 4th time that's happened.
I agree, Coach. That's the 2nd time that they've been 2-on-1. That's the first time they've converted. Stone for 3. Long. Rebound by number 5, Taylor Atkins. Midland's going to push. And I think Midland needs to push as much as they can. Great hands there by Stone. Tips it to herself and is fouled from behind. A little incidental contact, but foul nonetheless by number 33, Faith Craddock.
Kazee has got really good quick hands on defense. She's a really good defender, as you can see. That'd be Kelsey and Taylor Staten coming out. McKenzie going back in, as well as Caitlin Stone.
Stone sticks a 3, just long.
Looks like there's a foul on number 13, Mackenzie Riley.
Yeah. Midland had position. McKenzie come off her side low over the back there.
I've noticed watching some of the Fairland's other games, we have a tendency to do that instead of trying to get a butt on somebody boxing. Now you've got to get around her and box her out.
Fairland crashes her press down. Still though, they got the girl in the middle. 3-on-2 for Midland. A little hesitation and shot, just short. Offensive rebound by number 20. Allie Bennett, it's a nice job staying with that play. She did a great job there. Good positioning by number 13, calls a turnover, Summer Stevenson. Cabell Midland's pushing down through again.
That was a good job for Fairland getting back.
Three-pointer at the buzzer is good by number 13, Summer Stevenson.
Summer Stevenson.
Cuts the end of the first quarter lead down to 6. 17-11 Dragons. What a motivation and confidence booster for the Knights there, Les, going into the second quarter.
I will say that, Coach. I will tell you this, though. What Fairland's got to start doing better is instead of watching the ball on defense, watching the girls shoot it, they need to box somebody out. They've got Cabell Midland has gotten 3 or 4 easily no contested rebounds, and Fairland's just got to do a better job of finding the body and boxing out. We had 3 girls down there, and 1 girl for Cabell Midland still got the rebound.
Yeah, I think that's happened since Cabell Midland started pushing the tempo just a little bit. I don't know if they want to get into a running match with the Dragons, but I think pushing the tempo a little bit helped, not allowing the Dragons to get set in defense, has helped them here at the end of the first quarter. Again, we'd like to take this time to thank our sponsors, Ohio University Proctorville Center and Ricky Schiffco State Farm Insurance, who at the end of the game will be presenting the State Farm players of the game from each team. I'd like to thank those guys and everybody, Fairland, athletic directors and staff, for putting this event on. Hopefully we'd like to see this Throwdown become an annual event.
I do want to say this as well. We've had a good turnout today here at the at Fairland for these all-day games. Some's coming from other games as well. We had some Buddy League players today that was playing over in another school.
Dragons get the ball, start to second. Again, you'll see Midland's extending that defense. Blocked underneath. Got a little too far. Kelsey got a little too far underneath the basket there to make that shot. And you see Midland just pushing a little bit of pace there. It's helped them at the end of the first quarter. Fairland's got a good trap there. She gets through it. Nice little pass and finish. Number 13, Summer Stevenson's really having a really nice last few minutes here. Correction on that, it's Faith Craddock on the basket. Shot short from Taylor Staten, rebounded underneath 33. Just traveled.
That was a shot Taylor Staten should have taken from the three-point line instead of, she waited, she hesitated, and then she drove. She should have shot that shot. She's got a great-looking shot. But as you can see, ball goes back to Cabell Midland.
See if Fairland's still in that press. The center girl stayed that time. They got a turnover. Three-pointer good by Caitlin Stone, but really that's created off Mackenzie Riley's tip at the center. I think if Fairland will stay home in the center, their press will be a lot more effective. Stevenson pressing the ball up. Passes to Bennett. Again, you see Fairland still in that 1-2-2 matchup, kind of zone out front. They're looking to trap anywhere they can. 15-footer long for number 10, rebounded by Stone. Not a great shot for the Knights there, Les.
No, she probably should have stepped back and shot a three. She's that far out. Go ahead and try to get a three out of that shot.
Shot was short. Rebounded by McKenzie, but turned over. Turnover by Staten. Dragons 3-on-1. And Staten takes the ball to the rim, is fouled by number 10, Haley Haggerty. Haggerty in a bad spot there, 3-on-1, coach. Foul, probably the best thing she could have done.
Once again, you see Fairland's quickness on that. That was probably an ill-advised pass. She probably should have kept her dribble and maybe drove a little bit and then passed off.
Staten misses the first. Number 34, Alicia Simpson, checking into the game for the Dragons. In for Mackenzie Riley. Staten makes the second, allows the Dragons to get into that press. Making those foul shots are so crucial if you're a pressing team. If you miss shots, you can't press. There's the center again, passes behind her, but good patience by number 13. Long two is short by the Knights.
Rebound by Alicia Simpson. Almost a steal by Cabell Midland.
Again, you see the strength of the Dragons. A little ill-advised pass there by Stone into traffic. Nice recovery by Jenna Falks. Turned back over to the Knights. Again, you see the Knights working the wing, then back out. 13 shot just off for three. Rebounded offensively, number 32 for the Knights.
Once again, Coach, you can see nobody put a body at all on number 32 for Cabell Midland for Fairland.
Yeah, there's
she was right there. We had three girls around the basket. you've got to box out.
Yeah, you got to put a body on somebody. That back, you can't allow that backside rebound to happen. Entry into 32, nice swing pass into 13 for the layup. Our help got a little deep there on the inbounds play and allowed the girl to get to the lane.
Yeah, that was entirely too easy for Cabell Midland to make that shot. Great play, don't get me wrong.
Kick out from Falks to Stone for 3 in the corner, and it's good.
Caitlin Stone with another 3. That's her third 3. When she's on fire, she's on fire.
Yeah, the Knights don't want to see Caitlin Stone start making baskets. It could be a long night. 3-on-3 for the Knights. 13 pushes the shot from 15 feet, just long. Tipton's going to stay here for the Knights. I think Cabell Midland coach has gotten a little more aggressive here on offense. It served them well. They're just not quite getting the looks they want. Fairland's pressure is still intense. But they've been able to turn these inbound plays into a couple baskets here in the last few minutes to see what they can do here out of their 4-box set. And what great defense by the Dragons. Gets a 5-second call. Got to love that as a coach.
That just shows you how well they rotated on every body that came across the middle for the Dragons.
Cross-court skip pass from Stone to Kelsey Riley. In and out. Rebounded by the Knights, number 33. Craddock pushed up the floor by Stevenson. Stops at 15 feet. Kicks out in the drive from 10. 3-point attempt short for the Knights, and the Dragons are going to run.
Caitlin Stone with a long rebound to bring it up the court. Shoots another 3.
Offensive rebound by the Knights. By Riley. Misses a shot. Both teams need to do a little bit better job boxing out. Too many offensive rebounds, I'm sure, for these coaches' desires.
We're back in that on that zone defense.
Nice little shovel pass and foul by the Dragons. Nice recognition of the double down. She shovels it off to the open girl in the lane, number
22, Kelsey Riley, her second.
Number 32, McKenna Atkins. She's at the line now to shoot 2.
That right there puts Cabell Midland in a bonus from here for the rest of the half.
At the line, McKenna Atkins.
Coach Atkins' team's shown some players to be good foul shooters. Hopefully he can needs to utilize this getting to the line for the next 4 minutes to his advantage, down 9.
You might as well count that as a turnover for the Cabell Midland because she didn't hit the rim, so Fairland automatically gets the ball back right there underneath the basket.
Midland extending their zone. A little adjustment made by Coach Atkins to extend that zone, see if they get to force the Dragons into making some bad passes, and there they did. Folks can't handle that pass from Stone.
To me, that was a good look and a good pass. She just couldn't handle the catch. It seems that we, over the last few games, we do turn the ball over due to not being able to catch the ball. Coach has been working on that in practice, but still seems to be a problem for the Fairland Dragons.
Staying in the 1-2-2 extended, looking for the side trap. Cut to the basket, causes a turnover. Mackenzie Riley's pushing the 3-on-1 for the Dragons.
And a layup from Mackenzie. They called it a charge on that play.
Charge called on Mackenzie Riley. Coach Buchanan's not happy with the call. Felt like she was a little deep.
I'm not going to lie. It looked like that was a bad call. The ball was already released when she went up for the layup, and then the lady falls down. But, you know, we're not reffing, so we just got to go with what they say.
Got a full timeout on the floor. Dragons up 9. Is Midland going to have to keep extending their defense the rest of the game? Or are they going to have to try to go man? What at this point, what defensive adjustments do they need to make, or do they need to make one from what they're doing right now to stop this Lady Dragon team?
The deal about the Lady Dragons is they're so quick that if you go man, they're going to beat you. I don't know. I've not watched many of Cabell Midland's games. I don't know who they got quick enough to guard Caitlin Stone or Taylor Staten or Kelsey Riley. You know, we got a McDonald's All-American on our team that's been nominated for Kelsey Riley, and let me tell you, she's really showed that she's living up to the expectation this season.
Yeah, I think Coach Atkins just extending that zone is doing them some favors. But and just finishing on his end, they're getting some good looks underneath the last 5 or 6 possessions. Cabell Midland's got shots from around the block area, just haven't quite converted on all of them, and missed a few foul shots. I think Coach Atkins could have this game a little closer if some baskets had fallen his way.
Yeah, you've got to execute whenever you're playing a quick team, because if not, they can score points, 10 points in a matter of seconds. So you've really got to make your shots whenever you're playing a team as quick as Fairland is tonight.
Fairland staying in the zone 1-2-2, 3-quarter press here. Just kind of lagging it back. Stevenson bringing the ball up the left side. Midland looking to reset. Haggerty turns the ball over to Stone, who passes back to Staten. Good recovery defense by the Knights. Fawkes is fouled and the basket. Good strength shown by Jenna Fawkes there to finish that play after being fouled. She's going to go to the line for one more.
I will say this about Jenna. She has got a great left shot. When she goes to that basket left, she is hard to stop. She's got that high arcing shot that just banks it right in.
Long on the foul shot, though. Midland's going the other direction. Again, up tempo. But again, another costly turnover by the Knights. Coach Atkins kind of shaking his head. We got a block on the shot there. Number 20 on the foul for the Knights, Allie Bennett.
I will say this about a block and a charge. They're very difficult to call whenever you're down there on the court watching those plays. Us fans up here, we kind of get aggravated whenever you see a block, either a charge or a blocking foul. But to be that right there seemed like the right call, because she was moving quite a bit whenever she went up for that shot. First foul shot is made by Caitlin Stone.
Stone seconds, good as well. And Fairland starts making foul shots. It's going to make life a little harder for the Knights to extend this game. Fairland shoots well from the foul line. Again, you're going to see them in this little 3-quarter court zone look press. Midland gets the ball in the middle. Has 3-on-2 for a moment, but the Dragons recover quickly. Again, showing their speed. Staten pushing the ball up the floor to Stone.
I tell you what, Coach, looks like turnovers is killing Cabell Midland right now.
Turnover for the Dragons, just as you say it.
That was one of those fouls we were talking about that was probably unnecessary as far as aggressiveness goes. I did see a reach on that one. That was a good call.
Yeah, Coach Buchanan can't be happy with a foul 28 feet from the basket that really didn't affect the play at all. Both teams now in the bonus. Haggerty at the line. Makes the first. Again, I think it's going to be crucial for the Knights here to execute foul shots anytime they can.
Yeah, right now that's going to keep them in the game. It's tough to keep up with this fast-paced tempo of the Lady Dragons. Nice rebound by Kelsey Riley on that missed free throw.
In Midland really extending that zone. Fairland not afraid to throw the skip pass.
There's a foul on the play. It looks like it was on number 20. We'll see what the refs say.
Foul call on number 13, Summer Stinson.
That foul was on number 13, Summer Stinson.
Number 4, Taylor Staten.
Coach, I will say this about Fairland. They are a good foul shot shooting team. So if they go to the line, they're going to make probably 70 to 75% as a team on their free throws.
Yeah, and I'm sure Coach Atkins and Cabell Midland staff knows that as well. That's why they look pretty frustrated with the fouls that's happening against them right now. Offensive rebound by Stone, and the shot just short. Alicia on the follow and the basket. Alicia Simpson, offensive rebound basket. She's going to shoot one to make it a three-point play. Good all-around play by that kid, Coach. I'm sure Coach Buchanan's happy with her effort right there.
Absolutely. Now, Alicia Simpson's just a freshman. She's about 6 foot freshman this year, and she's really proven that she could play hard and fit in.
Getting minutes like this as a freshman, that's a lot of confidence she's shown Coach Buchanan. And looks really good for the future here at Fairland. Continued success, looks like.
Another freshman comes in, Morgan Fridley, number 10 for Caitlin Stone. I will say this, we do have an injury that's not playing right now, which is Emily Chapman. She's our other guard, a freshman guard. She's not playing right now due to a concussion she received at Chesapeake game.
Yeah, another one of those outstanding freshmen here at Fairland Coach Buchanan has in his repertoire. Three-pointer by number 11 from Midland, just off the mark. Morgan Bennett goes back to the Dragons.
I will say this, Coach. Fairland got by with one there as far as not getting that loose ball. They had an opportunity. They didn't capitalize. And luckily for us, or for Fairland, that Cabell Midland missed that shot.
Dragons are going to bring the ball in from the backcourt. Minute 46 left here in the second. And the Dragons have them doubled up right now, 32-16. The Midland staying in that zone, a little pressure, 20-foot zone out here, trying to trap. Nice skip pass from Kazee into Fulks, takes it up. It's fouled on the play.
They want to continue to keep this lead from Cabell Midland.
Fulks goes 1 for 2. Fairland stays in the zone press. Again, nice denial there of 13 in the middle. Midland gets the ball across, side trapped. Fouled by number 2 by the Dragons, Maddie Kazee on the side.
That foul probably could have went either way. Number 5 threw her elbow, but I guess the ref saw that she pushed her before she did that. You got to watch that because they'll catch both of those if they're not careful.
Yeah, Midland's going to be in the double shot bonus the last minute 13 of the half, see if they can take advantage.
Number 5, Taylor Atkins.
Atkins misses the first. Number 14, Sierra Womack's checking in for the Knights. Second shot's also a miss, controlled by Staten. Timeout, coach. Staten had the ball on her knees there, dribbling to keep possession. Nice timeout there to keep the ball.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. Most girls will stop and pick that ball up, and they'll get called for a travel. Very good job by Taylor keeping her dribble, and coach realizing it and calling a timeout.
Again, we'd like to take the time to thank our sponsors, Ohio University Proctorville Center. If you have any thinking about going back to school, picking up a few classes, contact the Proctorville Center. They'll be more than happy to help you out. And to Ricky Schiffco, State Farm Insurance here in Proctorville. And again, Ricky will be presenting the players of the game to both teams at the conclusion of this game.
Possession again, after the timeout does stay with Fairland.
Sure, Coach Atkins stressing to his kids this last minute to not give up any more points, play good solid defense, and try to create some baskets all around going into the half. Let's see if they can execute. Fairland gets the ball to the corner, swings it back to Fulks, goes into the lane. Travels going up. It's a good call by the official. She took an extra step there, trying to get a little extra spacing. Good take, just one extra step. Fairland staying in their zone press, three-quarter court press. Gets it to the center and out to the side. Midland has numbers.
Once again, that was another missed shot by Cabell Midland. When you've got that fast break broken, the press broken, you've got to execute on that.
Yeah, number 32, McKenna Atkins, she put the ball on the floor there, Les. I don't think she needed to. I think she should have caught it, went straight up. She had the layup. She took that unnecessary dribble, cost her the shot. It's a hard thing to coach kids, whether in middle school or high school, not to put that ball on the floor unless you have to. Number 11 for the three for the Knights, long. Rebounded offensively will be number 34, Mackenzie Dillon, and is fouled. Back to Fairland not boxing out on that weak side.
Yeah, Fairland's got to realize that their fannies are more than just sitting down. You got to put your body on somebody and box them out. They've done that, if you could see, several times on Cabell Midland's offensive possessions.
Mackenzie Dillon shooting 2.
First one's missed. Coach Atkins' Knights missed the last 5 from the line. I don't think those are 5 points they can afford to give away. And on cue, number 34 breaks that streak. They need to continue to make those foul shots, play good defense, keep Fairland from taking a shot here in this last 30 seconds.
Looks like Coach is playing for one shot on this last possession with a little less than 16 seconds left to go in the game right now.
Again, skip pass after skip pass. Just the strength of the Dragons. It's off not Midland's foot there. Just not too many teams, girls teams, middle school, high school, that can just make skip pass after skip pass with strength and accuracy. Coach Buchanan's a nice luxury for him to have. Makes playing 2-3 zone against this team really difficult.
I have to agree with you on that, Coach.
7 seconds to go. Fairland looking for a shot and get it from Alicia Simpson at the elbow. And that's going to take us to halftime with the Fairland Lady Dragons 35, Lady Knights 17. I think the Lady Knights were looking for some confidence going into the half. Instead, the Dragons get the last shot from Simpson at the buzzer, sends them to the locker room up 18. What is the best thing that Cabell Midland can do to execute? What's the one thing they have to execute better in the second half to close this gap?
It looks like they're going to have to regroup. Right now, as you can see, they're playing a lot of zone. Apparently that's not working for them. This, in my opinion, in this half, if they go back and try to match up, maybe go to a man and see how that possession holds for them. And if that don't work, you'll have to go back to the zone and rotate. They need to work on the rotation, on stopping the Fairland, and stop the turnovers. The turnovers is what's killing them, and making their foul shots. You got turnovers and foul shots are a key play right here in this game. What about you, Coach?
You know, like you said, it gets back to fundamentals. We're talking about turnovers. We're talking about foul shots. We're talking about boxing out, things that these kids have been taught since they were in midi league all the way through middle school and high school as the key foundations of things to improve. It doesn't change as they get older. They need to continue doing those basics well. I agree with you. I like to see Midland come out, a set or two in a different defense, show Coach Buchanan and the Dragons a little different look. Right now, Midland's awful predictable on defense, making finding the open girl for Fairland a little open. Guys, we're going to step away just for a moment here at the Tri-State Hoops Throwdown, and we'll be back with you after a few words from our sponsors. Little man pressure on the inbounder here. Maybe a little different wrinkle like we were talking about, the adjustment that Midland needed to make. Fairland gets the ball into the post quick, back out. Stone for the 3 in the corner. Off to the right, misses. Tip out, back to Staten.
Once again, wide did Staten pass that shot up? She was wide open in that lane. She's got a great shot. She can score. She just needs to be more confident about her shot and shoot that ball. But in the same essence, it looks like we stepped up to the plate and we're getting ready to shoot some foul shots here. So.
Yeah, just a little overly unselfish there. It's hard to teach a kid not to be unselfish. We're teaching them to look for the open girl, but also to take that shot when they're in the lane and no one's in front of them.
Well, Jenna stepped up to the plate, and she's a good foul shot shooter as well. She made her first foul shot.
Misses the second. Ball's going to go back to the Knights. 7:44 here in the third. Fairland again on the 1-2-2. Zone three-quarter press. More just to slow down, keep the ball out of the middle. Is basically the point here is they're trying to keep the ball out of the middle for them to set up, trying to force them to set the offense up from one side of the floor. Swings over to number 10, a little hesitation, step move. That's a nice little move around 33 and scores the basket. Really nice move to her left for Haggerty. Midland needs more shots and drives like that.
Now you see what happens when Taylor Staten shoots the ball. That's what she needs to continue to do. Build that confidence. That's a great three-pointer by Staten. She's got that shot. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, it's a great open, took it, confident follow through. Need her shooting like that all the time. Have that confidence at 19 feet and at 3 feet. And swinging around, three-point attempt by the Knights, number 11, just off the rim. Offensive rebound by 33, and she's fouled. Faith Craddock with a great offensive rebound there between two Dragons and is fouled on the putback. We talked about the Dragons boxing out on the shots on the defensive end. There's another time where Midland snuck a rebound, going to get to shoot two with no time running off.
Yeah, that's a good point, Coach. It seems that that's been our Achilles here the last couple of games, except for last game when we played against Ironton. We did a good job. We just need to continue to do that here as well.
Dillon makes her first of 2 free throws. Again, Knights need to make these, cut this lead down. Short on the second, but another offensive rebound by the Knights, number 32, and put back.
Coach Lee, a coach gets so aggravated whenever you have a team that's shooting foul shots to not catch that rebound as well.
A tie up here underneath on the rebound. It's going to go to the Knights. Cabell Midland had the rebound. Fairland stuck in there for the tie up. But Cabell Midland doing a little bit better job boxing out right now than the Dragons. Even up 19. I'm sure Coach Buchanan doesn't want them to quit on the boards.
That is a good point. Just keep rebounding, keep boxing out, which they're not doing right now. So I'm sure he's going to make sure they know that whenever next time out.
2-man ball here with Bennett and Haggerty on top. Entry pass into 32. She goes up and is fouled. You know, the fans don't like that call, but anytime the defender comes down with her hands at all, the referees are going to blow the whistle. It wasn't much of one, but it's a standard foul that you're going to see called. Fans don't like it. Players don't like it. Whether it's, you know, the right call or not, it's going to get called. Keeps those players to go straight up, reach for the sky, to keep them getting that foul called.
I can't lie to you on that one, Coach. I wasn't a big fan of that call either, but once again, you got to live with what the officials say. So he's not going to say, oh, yeah, you're right, I was wrong, let me give you the ball back. That is true, but us fans, we have a tendency to react a little bit hastily sometimes.
Atkins makes them both from the line.
Cuts the lead down to 17 for the Cabell Midland.
Again, you see the Knights extending that zone out a little bit more. Trying, denying that block. They're doing a little bit better job denying the block. Out to ill-advised shot by Falks there, a little out of control. Got a foul on Kelsey Riley on a push on the loose ball. It's going to go to Midland.
I'm sure they're going to edit this one out, but I don't think there was a foul right there on that play. That's a loose ball. You can't really call a foul on that because they both were going for the ball, in my opinion. But like I said, once again, you got to live with what the officials say.
Knights bring the ball across half court. Number 11, Morgan Bennett with the ball. 13 flashes, comes out, resets the offense. And the Knights are trying to get 2 girls underneath, established on the block, trying to swing a 3rd girl through, trying to overload Fairland's defense to one side.
That's good defense by Caitlin staying with number 13.
Now, decent patience by both teams here, but Midland being patient on offense, Fairland playing good patient defense.
Another almost steal by Caitlin Stone with her quick hands. She jumps out. 3-pointer by number 10, Haley Haggerty for the Cabell Midland.
That's what patience will get you on offense, is a look at a good shot. Might take 5 or 6 passes, but you're going to get a good look. Stone with an up and under the layup for the Dragons. Again, showing her athleticism and speed.
Yeah, Caitlin's not afraid to go in with them trees with her size. She's very quick and go right into the middle like that.
Nice crossover by number 10. Takes to the hole. Haggerty on the cross and shoot. Midland's going to need a defensive stop here. They're shooting the ball a little better now. They got to get a defensive stop. Tip out by 33 is going to remain Dragon ball.
That was good hands for number 33, Cabell Midland. Fairland's just got to make sure they watch their passes. Sometimes those long passes aren't always good to make, even though they can get it there.
Midland playing with a little bit more confidence here on the offensive end. That tends to trickle over on the defensive end too. Let's see if Midland can make a stop here. And they do. They cause a turnover here, travel in the paint. The ball's going to go back to Cabell Midland.
Dragons are only up by 14 right now after losing an 18-point lead. At one time it was 20.
Fairland dropping out of that press, really just picking up at half court now. Midland's offense running through the 3 guards, trying to get in the post. 33 with a nice take, just off the mark. Another offensive rebound, but stolen back by Dragons. Maddie Kazee, good hustle play on a back tip steal. Gets fouled on it. The Dragons are going to have possession here, come the other way. Really good hustle on both ends of the floor. Dragons just coming out on the end of it here with possession.
That foul was on number 13, Summer Stevenson. Maddie Kazee is a hustler. She gets right in there. She's not a bit afraid to.
There's a tip, and Midland's got numbers. Ill-advised pass. You know, Summer should have just taken that ball to the hole. One-on-one, didn't need to make that pass.
That was a great steal by Caitlin Stone. Her tightrope around the corner there. Looks like we have a foul on the play for Fairland.
Yeah, another defensive rebound and foul by the Dragons. I will maintain that Midland's outworking the Dragons on the boards on both ends right now. Just can't convert them into points.
No, it seems like we're getting Fairland's getting a little bit out hustled. That foul was on number 34, Lisa Simpson. That's her first foul.
Fairland back now to a full court press. Matchup man until the ball comes in. And then they're going to zone back out. Midland breaks through the second pass, gets to the ball across half court. Over to 10, blocked away.
She just got swallowed like a fly on that play.
Maddie Kazee really working the top of that 1-2-2 well.
Looks like there's a foul on Taylor State, number 4, for a reach-in play. I don't always agree with the rest, but that was the right call on that one. She did reach in. She's getting a little too aggressive. That was a foul that she probably shouldn't have made it that far out of the basket.
Seeing both teams picking up the tempo just a little bit. Dragons picking it up also. Midland trying to inbound the ball, and they do. Knights resetting at half court. Back to the sideline, number 10. Haley Haggerty with the ball. Maddie Kazee pressuring all the way out. Really working the top of that 1-2-2. Haggerty to the rim.
Haggerty's gotten to the rim 3 times so far just by her dribbling skills and getting in the lane. Caitlin brings the ball down the court. She loses it, hits her knee and goes out of play. Looks like Cabell Midland stole the ball.
I think Caitlin was anticipating a little contact there and lost it off her foot. It's good defensive stand by number 11, Morgan Bennett. She shoots the 3, just short, and rebound by Jenna Falks, and the Dragons are pushing. A little short on the finish. Knights get the rebound. I think the Knights need to keep pushing. They're getting the ball in the entry there. Just another missed shot. Another offensive board for the Knights. And the foul. Not only are they outworking the Dragons on the boards, they're out positioning. The Fairland has yet really to stop the entry pass in from Cabell Midland. The girl on the block's getting the ball and able to get a shot up. I think Coach Buchanan's going to want some different positioning or some help defense to come across to deny that, as well as some just flat boxing out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you here. I think that Coach Buke here, if he don't call timeout before then at the beginning of the fourth quarter, he's going to let them know that they got to box them out and start rotating better and stopping that entry pass.
Knights 0 for 2 from the line. Jenna Falks on the rebound. Just 2 points the Knights can't afford to give up there.
Foul shots are really hurting the Knights right now. They've had so many opportunities to foul line. They've got to make those if they're going to keep up with Fairland. Timeout by Coach Buke and the Fairland Dragons. It seems like that was a really good time to call a timeout.
Yeah, the Dragons got a little careless with that possession. Buchanan didn't like what he saw. Got the 30-second timeout called before the turnover.
Coach Atkins has got to be pleased with his squad right now for the Cabell Midland, because they were down at one time, if you remember correctly, by 20. Now they've cut the lead down to 14. Fairland's made a couple of really silly mistakes by turnovers once again and not boxing out. Seems like an adjustment that Coach Buke's going to make during this timeout.
Yeah, the Dragons really haven't had a field goal in the last few minutes. Midland's defense combined with a little excitedness on the Dragons' end, keeping the Dragons off the scoreboard and allowing the Knights to cut the lead a little. If we could get them, they could get themselves to make some foul shots. I think this game would be more like a 10-point game instead of a 14-point game. And I don't think Coach Buchanan by any means is counting this Knights team out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on the scoring for the Dragons. If there's any drier out here, we'd be in the Sahara Desert right now on this drought that we're doing right now.
Dragons are going to have possession of half court on the inbounds after the timeout. A little man pressure here by the Knights, tried to deny the pass in. They get it into Falks. Another skip pass across. Good entry pass in. But good, see, there's the help defense right there that Midland showed, that Fairland needs to show on that entry pass. And just a silly pass, bad turnover. Ill-advised all the way around there from the Dragons. But
I see this a lot in high school basketball. Girls try to catch the ball with one hand instead of trying to catch it with two hands, which is what Caitlin did. Not saying that she couldn't handle the pass. It's just that you gotta look it into your hands first before you try to react to it.
Again, Matty on top of the 1-2-2 zone for the Dragons. Knights have the ball around the toss to the top. Good tight defense. Got it to the foul line, kicked out. My Knights are being patient. Dragons are sitting down playing good defense. Shot from 12 feet, just short. Again, another offensive rebound for the Knights. It's going to stay here off a tip. You know, number 20, Allie Bennett, 32, McKenna Atkins, done a great job getting positions for offensive rebounds for the Knights. I'm sure Coach Atkins is happy with that effort. They have to convert some layups to get back in this game.
I'm going to have to agree with you. Once again, they've missed some really easy shots. Looks like a tie-up on the play. Ball's going to go to Fairland. Has a great hustle by, was that Caitlin Stone, I believe, on that play? Good job, Caitlin.
.113 here left in the third. Lady Dragons up 14. You see the Knights again pressuring the inbound a little bit. Extending their defense against this Lady Dragon. Good help on the defense. Long on the shot from Alicia. We have a foul on the play. Foul's going to be on the Lady Knights. Number 11, Morgan Bennett. It's going to put Alicia Simpson at the line for 2 shots.
Even though there was a foul on that second shot by Alicia Simpson, she should have made that first shot. And I say she should have. It seems like to me easy to say that, but when you're in the middle like that, an easy shot like that, you've got to make those. And I'm sure Coach is aggravated with that, but in the same essence, he's excited about her hustle and her getting the ball back and putting it back up in the air.
Yeah, and he's obviously got some confidence to have her as a freshman in this position in this game like this. Believes in what she can do. She goes 1 for 2 from the line there. Allows them to get back into their zone press. Nice little ball fake there. Midland breaks the press with ease. Fairland looking to side trap.
Another hustle play by both teams on that one after the missed fumble dribble for number 11 for Cabell Midland. It stays here at Cabell Midland's end.
Twenty takes a shot from 12 feet. Another offensive board and foul from the Knights. 34. Mackenzie Dillon on the basket off the offensive rebound. She's going to get a chance to finish the three-point play. And again, it's just a matter of them out-positioning the Dragons on these right now.
Well, I know Coach Buke teaches box out at practice, and he's got to be very frustrated with the way our girls and Fairland girls are not rebounding that ball, especially on the defensive end. You can't give Cabell Midland second chances and expect them not to stay in the game. Looks like a lane violation for Cabell Midland. Foul shot no good. Ball goes to Fairland automatically.
See if the Knights can sit down and play some defense this last 33 seconds. Hold this down to a 13-point lead. The Dragons are probably going to hold for 1 here if they can. Good tip there by 13. Knights have got a chance here with 20 seconds left to make a play. Fairland rarely there. They forced a pass. They normally don't force passes. There they forced a pass. Backside's wide open for the Knights, and she's fouled on the take-up. Number 11, Morgan Bennett, fouled all by herself on the backside. She's going to have a chance to cut this to an 11-point lead.
I'm not going to lie to you, Coach. It's difficult for me to stand here behind here and do this game without screaming at our girls for some of the plays that they're not making. But they'll come around. Just keep patient, and I'm sure the Dragons will try to extend their lead. But Cabell Midland's playing some really good ball right now, and they'll just cut it down to down within 10.
It's Alicia Simpson's 4th foul for the Dragons, and Coach Buchanan inserts Whitney Huff into the game for the first time tonight. Knights go 2 for 2 from the line there. Cut it to 11 with 9.2. See if they can deny the Dragons the last-second basket. Staten takes the 3, just off the mark, and that's the horn. The Knights have cut into the lead a little bit, 42-31.
Coach, what do you expect the adjustments that Buke's going to make to since he's lost a 20-point lead down to 11, it looks like, as well as Atkins on his adjustments, and if he's going to keep doing what he's doing for his girls?
You know, I think he's going to stay in the 1-2-2. I think he's going to tell his kids that, you know, on top are playing great. The top 3 of his defense are playing well. The bottom 2 are not getting positioned like they should. They're allowing Cabell Midland to get that entry pass in, to get offensive rebounds. I think his focus is going to be to stop allowing Midland second chance opportunities. Midland's last 3 field goals have been on second chance opportunities. Coach Buchanan, I'm sure, is going to impart on his team to deny that. He can get this lead stretched back out. For Coach Atkins, I think keep the pressure going, keep entering the ball in until Fairland makes an adjustment to deny that entry pass, keep feeding his 4s and 5s, see if they can get to the line, see if they can get some layups, cut this lead down. Midland's playing a little bit better defense. They're forcing a few more turnovers. I think if the Dragons just slow down on offense, their turnovers will go down. It'll be an interesting fourth quarter to see how the coaches and the girls react.
Well, it looks like Coach Buke has his starting 5 back out on the court. Kelsey and McKenzie set most of that quarter down, so we'll see how they pick up the pace here and see what's going to happen.
Dragons begin the quarter with the ball. Again, Cabell Midland denying. Ball comes into Fulks. Dragons looking to reset. Midland's extending. Defense out, which I think they're going to need to do to keep pressure on this Dragons offense to make a play. Entry pass into McKenzie can't quite be handled. Turnover back to the Knights. Those are the kind of things that the Knights have to force to get this lead cut back down. Fairland starts back again. It's quarter of the 1-2-2. Half court this time.
That was over and back. Missed call back there by the officials. I take that back. Seems the ball and both feet has to be over. Another basket by Cabell Midland to cut the lead within 9. We have a foul on the play. Seems to be on number 10 for Cabell Midland.
Another backside layup for the Knights. Fairland's got to know where 33, 34, 32 are on the floor, because right now they're the single source of Cabell Midland's scoring. Kelsey Riley bringing the ball up the floor with a 9-point lead out to Staten. Skip pass across the Stone. Entry in, ill-advised. Nice jump of the pass there by number 20, Allie Bennett. Knights force another turnover and have the ball. The 12-foot shot just short.
That was a wide open shot that she should have made. She would have made that shot. The crowd would have went wild. That would have brought the lead down to 7.
Yeah, she short-armed that. When she full extends, that ball was on line, it would have went in. She just short-armed a little. In and out for Mackenzie Riley. A scrum on the floor. Foul on the Knights on the loose ball. Going to give the ball back to the Dragons underneath. Dragons in a stack. Stone kicks out. Nowhere really to go. Going to have to kick it out to Staten. It's good stealing recognition by the Knights. Turnover by the Dragons. Jenna Fulks on the travel. Good call there. Midland bringing the ball up against. No real pressure from the Dragons here.
Looks like the Dragons are going to man right now. Just to
little defensive different look from Coach Buchanan. 13 for the 3 in the corners. Good. Summer Stevenson cutting the lead. Staten, skip pass over to Stone, who takes a 3 of her own and connects an answer for the Dragons. Big bucket by Caitlin Stone to answer Cabell Midland's little run here. Takes the lead back to 9. Timeout, Coach Buchanan and the Dragons with 5:59.
Caitlin Stone's got such a quick release, and she's got that rainbow shot that goes in. That's her 4th 3-pointer of the night.
You know, I like the change up in defense to get the girls a little energized for the Dragons. Going man-to-man, yes, they gave up the 3, but they come back a little more energized on the offensive end. I think that's a good move. Do I think Coach Buchanan will stay man long? No. Do I think it helped get some energy into his girls? Yes. A strategy that I'm curious if Coach Atkins will take at some point to see if he can make a run at the Dragons here. We'd like to take this time again to thank Ohio University Proctorville Center and the Ricky Schiffco State Farm Insurance, our sponsors for the Tri-State Hoops Throwdown here at Fairland High School and the Carl York Center, home of the Lady Dragons. Les, we got about half of this quarter remaining. Midland's cut it to 6. Now it's back to 9. Is there anything he needs to do different, or just keep attacking Fairland at the basket?
I'd say since the lead was 20 at one point, and now it's back down to 9 points. I think he just needs to keep doing what he's doing, keep pressuring the ball. And I think if he keeps doing like that, Fairland's going to end up turning the ball over again unless they can slow it down and make good passes. Because it seems to me like if you haven't noticed that they rush their passes and they're not catching the ball, which is making turnovers happen. So if they continue to do that, then they have a good opportunity. In the same essence, Fairland needs to learn to catch the ball, watch it go into their hands, just like football, and react once they do that.
Midland's going to bring the ball in. No real pressure from the Dragons. Staten's going to pick him up on defense at half court, and the Knights go in their offense. Over to number 10, Haley Haggerty, looking for a swing, something with half 12-foot shots off the mark, picked up by Staten, and the Dragons are going to run. Stone with a skip pass over to Kelsey Riley. Goes baseline, looks, good help side defense. Timeout, Coach Buchanan. Ball kind of got thrown at Jenna Fulks' feet. Wasn't sure what to do with it. Called timeout and reset. Not a bad call at all there. Coach, you saw Cabell Midland's help side on the drive, help side on the entry. If Coach Buchanan get his girls to do that, the first 3 quarters, I really think we'd see this lead a little bigger than it is. If Midland continues to do that, it's causing the Dragons some turnovers. It might give them some opportunities. However, Midland's got to convert on their end. I don't think Coach Atkins is going to be happy with his field goal percentage at the end of the game from what it is right now. But I think he should continue to go at him. It's his best way to cut the lead down.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that. It just seems to me that, like you said, if Fairland can continue to stop that corner over here on the defensive end and pressure the ball, they will extend the lead if Cabell Midland makes mistakes. But in the same essence, Fairland can't make any mistakes either, or their lead's going to dwindle really quick.
Coming off the timeout here, the Lady Knights are going to be in the bonus for this last 5:34. See if they can use that to their advantage, getting to take some shots from the line. Fairland's going to inbound underneath. Outlet out to Riley on the inbounds. Over to Stone for the 3. There's that quick release you talked about, Les.
Kaylin Stone with another 3-point shot. That's her 5th 3-point basket of the game.
Yeah, Stone's 5th 3-pointer of the Knights, really what's helped extend this lead for the Dragons.
As you can see, they're getting pressure on the Lady Knights. Another turnover for Cabell Midland.
That turnover comes off help defense. That's probably the first time all night I've seen Fairland drop down help on the entry pass, and it causes a turnover. I'm sure when Coach Buchanan looks at the film there, he's going to be happy that he saw it then and upset that's the first time he probably saw it all game.
That was a great defensive play by Jenna Fulks. I have to agree with you on that. She was right there at the right time.
Skip pass over to Stone. Another 3. Just long. Offensive rebound. Kelsey Riley, good positioning there off the girl's hip. Turnover. Loose ball. Going to go to Midland. Lots of bodies on the floor. Good hustle on both teams' part. Midland's going to take the ball out on the sideline on their end of the floor.
Yeah, that was kind of a sloppy pass by McKenzie, but it's one that she probably regrets making now. She'll correct that here in a little bit. She knows she probably made a mistake there, and she'll play good defense here.
16-footer from the Knights is good by number 13, Summer Stevenson. Timeout, Knights.
The lead is down to 10 for the Lady Dragons. We'll see how they what kind of adjustments the coach is going to make at this timeout.
You know, that's a shot that in practice you tell your girls is the worst shot in basketball, but in a game when they make it, you're okay with it. You know, it's a good little, you know, maybe a booster, an offensive, a defensive booster for his team. Calls a timeout, regroups the troops here, see if he can make a run here in the last half of the fourth quarter, down 10.
Once again, during this timeout, we do want to thank our sponsors for tonight's for the whole day of games we've had here for Ohio University Proctorville Center and Ricky Schiffco State Farm Insurance. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do this tonight. We've got a great turnout. We've had one all day. Started at 10 o'clock this morning, and it's gone game after game, and we're really pleased with the turnout that we've had here this evening.
I'd like to also thank Armstrong for getting these games on TV, getting them on the air for you folks to see. It's a great opportunity for those who can't get out to the games each week to see these kids play all across the tri-state, and encourage you to support Armstrong's venture into getting our youth on the television for our area to see. The Dragons are going to have the ball off the Knights' timeout. 4:40 to go, up 10. Knights show a little pressure in the backcourt. Kelsey Riley to inbound. Back to Riley. Again, Midland staying in that matchup zone. More of a 1-2-2 look like the Dragons run than that 2-3 they started in. Now they're back to that matchup 2-3. Skip pass across the Stone, into the middle. A little pass at her feet there is hard for Jenna to handle. Stone's up and under is no good. Good offensive rebound by McKenzie, Riley, and the bucket.
Yeah, McKenzie works really hard underneath. She's a really hard worker and goes after the ball. It's a great rebound by her. One that the Knights wish they wouldn't have gave up, but they did, and Fairland executed.
Yeah, not too many offensive boards for the Dragons that's converted tonight, and that's one Coach Buchanan's going to be happy to see late in the game.
If you haven't noticed, Fairland's got all seniors out on the court, which is usually our starters, and they play really well together and mesh real well. There's a turnover for the Lady Knights. Seems to just roll across the baseline there.
You mentioned these girls playing together. You know, they've come through, you know, youth league, middle school, you know, JV, varsity stuff all together. It's easy. They have just really in sync trust with each other. They kind of know what the other one's thinking, and that's just an intangible that coaches, you know, just kind of drool over. They love having, you have 5 seniors on the floor who can play at this level. Stone for 3. Just off the mark. Rebounded by number 10, Haley Haggerty. Knights pushing the ball up the floor out to 13, Stevenson. Back to Haggerty on the drive in the lane.
That was a little bit of a unbalanced shot for Haggerty on that play.
Turnover by Mackenzie Riley. Trying to make the pass, got the ball hung up on her hip there a little bit. Travel was called. Turnover back to the Knights. 3:24 left. We got a 12-point lead for the Dragons. Midland's going to take the ball in from the side. Like to see the Knights maybe make more movement, a little more aggressive here. Down 12, they're doing an awful lot of standing there. Makes defense awful easy, and then they turn the ball over.
Yeah, when you're playing Fairland Dragons, you can't pass the ball around and not try to execute and score, especially as quick as they are. You know, they got a 12-point lead. You're going to have to start shooting the ball and driving to the basket in order to get any type of cut in the lead.
Staten skip pass over to Stone. Back to Falks. Back to Staten. Really making that Knights off defense work. A little up and under move for Falks off the mark. Another second rebound. On the second offensive rebound by the Dragons, Kelsey Riley finishes. That's that offensive rebounding and boxing out that we've talked about the Dragons. If they would have done the first 3 quarters, I think the lead would be a little bigger. They are executing it a little later than Coach Buchanan probably likes, but execution nonetheless.
Yeah, now Cabell Midland's got to score. We're just throwing the ball around, it seems to me like. They need to get it in the middle or get an open player and shoot that 3.
Midland trapped in the corner, but Coach Atkins gets the timeout. Les, I agree with you. I think we need to see a little bit more urgency out of the Knights to try to cut this lead down. It's grown back to 14, and with only 2.5 minutes left in the game, picking up the pace for the Knights is going to be key. They're going to need to move faster on offense, try to get to the line, try to make some points without the clock moving, and continue to play defense. They've started to let the Dragons get some offensive rebounds that they haven't allowed this first part of the game. And they need to get back to that help side defense and back to that defensive rebounding. I'd like to remind everybody that at the end of the game, Ricky Schiffko, State Farm Insurance, is going to present the State Farm Players of the Game for both teams here at the Tri-State Hoops Throwdown's final game of the night.
At first, whenever we saw these two teams play at halftime, I thought it was going to be a blowaway, but it seems that the Knights have really come and they've adjusted at halftime, and it seems like they're cutting this lead back, but they're going to, like you said, more urgency in the scoring possession they're going to have to do in order to cut this lead down to where they can make it manageable with the 1 minute left to go in the game.
Knights are going to come out with the ball out on the sideline. Still in their box inbound play. They've basically been in that all game on an inbound, just showing some different looks out of it. Backside block. She was there to pass a little out of her reach. Turnover to the Dragons. You know, there's a little bit of that aggression on an inbounds play. I don't mind that pass as a coach, as long as we come back and play good defense on the other end.
Like you said before, those passes that are long skip passes like that are hard to make. Especially whenever you've got a defender on you, and it just was too high for the Cabell Midland Knights.
Yeah, most high school girls teams are lucky to have one or two players who can make that kind of pass. Fairland's got a bench full of them, and again, just makes defending them so much more difficult. Not to mention their speed and length, but their strength is what makes this Dragon team a very formidable foe. Dragons trying to be patient on offense. Midland extending their defense, still in basically like a 1-2-2 right now, or an extended 2-3. Trying to match up out front. Dragons just looking for patient. A little ill-advised pass there, not necessary. Midland causes the turnover. Number 11 shot from Midland short. Rebounded by Mackenzie Riley back out to Kelsey.
That was smart for the Fairland Dragons to slow it down with 1:44 left to go with a 14-point lead.
You know, does Coach Atkins start putting Fairland at the line, maybe try to extend this game this last minute, 35? Or we just going to try to play good D? Looks like he's just going to try to sit down and play good defense. Pays off there with another turnover. Tell you what, 34, Mackenzie Dillon has played a really great game. You're not going to see a bunch of stats from her in the stat book or in the paper in the morning. But Cabell Midland's 4s and 5s have played a nice game tonight.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that. It's really worked to their advantage, but it doesn't seem like to be enough right now for Lady Knights.
Both teams look a little lethargic in this last minute 6. Missing some shots maybe we shouldn't make. 34 again at the elbow, passes out. 11 on the drive, is fouled on the shot. That's Morgan Bennett going to the line for 2.
The foul call on number 13, Mackenzie Riley, her team foul.
Seems that Mackenzie Riley with her 5th team foul, so she will be setting the rest of the game out. There's 57 seconds left to go in the game. Mackenzie's played a really good game today. You got to give hats down to her.
Short on the foul shot on the first one. Coach Atkins is begging for those foul shots to go in right now to help cut this lead down in the final minute. Bennett for one more on the back end of 2 shots here. Gets the roll this time. 13-point game. Knights extending the floor here. Little zone pressure. 3-quarter court. Skip pass out of bounds. Again, what a little pressure will do against a great team, a good team, an okay team. You know, half-court pressure across sideline to sideline will cause turnovers and bad passes. Cabell Midland showed that here in that play and a few times this evening.
You were talking about the strength Fairland has on their skip passes. That right there was a little too strong.
Out to 10. Number 11 for the 3. Save, 34 at the shot. Just rolls in and out. It's been kind of Cabell Midland's mantra tonight. Just can't get those little ones to fall. 25 seconds to go and Fairland with the ball.
That was another good defensive rebound by Jenna Falks. Looks like Fairland's just going to try to waste time. There's 17 seconds left to go in the game.
And Coach Atkins isn't going to foul here with 14 seconds left. Alicia Simpson with the bucket. Stretches the lead to 15 as we go into the last 6 seconds of the game. Three-pointer off the mark, rebounded by Fulks, and that's going to do it here at the Carl York Center. Final score, Lady Dragons 54, Lady Knights from Cabell Midland 39. Les, what can you say about both teams that they can take away going into their next game as positives from this game?
You've got positives from both teams. If you look at the second half for Cabell Midland, if they'd have played the first half as well as they did the second half, it might have been a little bit different game. They seem to need to be pressure a little bit more and rotation, and their rebounding was really well. I think sometimes on the defensive end they lacked a little bit on. And as far as Fairland goes, Fairland has to continue to run the floor really fast and quick, and use their quick hands and their shooting, and be confident in one another. We have a couple girls that doesn't seem to be confident every day, and they do real well, and they just need to be more confident whenever they shoot the ball.
Ricky Shifko, State Farm Insurance Agent here in Proctorville, to announce the State Farm Players of the Game for this last game of the Tri-State Hoops Throwdown here at the Carl York Center.
Okay, once again, we want to thank Ricky Shifko and State Farm Insurance and also Ohio University. Player of the game for Cabell Midland, number 13, Summer Stevenson. And for the Lady Dragons from Fairland, number 23, Caitlin Stone.
We'd like to congratulate Summer Stevenson from Cabell Midland and Caitlin Stone from Fairland, the State Farm Players of the Game. We'd like to thank all the support, the faculty, administration here at Fairland for allowing this event to happen, the Tri-State Hoops Throwdown, brought to you by Ohio University Proctorville Center, Ricky Shifko State Farm Insurance, and Armstrong Cable. Les, I appreciate calling the game with you today, and look forward to seeing both these teams in the future.